Hey, welcome back to Najd in the Common Sense expansion, first attempt since that expansion, probably the 30th attempt overall. We're playing on normal difficulty without AI bonuses because Najd is enough of a challenge by itself, thank you very much. The Jihad is the name of the achievement that we're going for. We have a reasonable sized navy of mostly galleys, and we're fighting the QQ on the side of the Mamluks. The Mamluks are stomping face. We're not going to participate. We're on the brink of a peasants' war. That the disaster ticker went away because we got above manpower of 50%. But if we lose any manpower, then we're going to get a peasants' war, and we can't take a peasants' war because we got -3 stability and total religious disharmony. We're frantically paying tons of military points in order to avoid revolts. We tried to go too fast. We full annexed Oman and Yemen. And just, it cost too much admin, man. We should have saved up some admin points. I didn't realize how easy Conquest was going to be since the expansion. It's become much easier down here because the way forts work, they're so expensive, and all the land down here is desert, so everyone just has one fort, and if you siege that fort, you get the whole nation. It's like, you are now my nation because I sieged one fort. Okay, that's cool. So really, we're just kind of treading water, pausing, standing still, doing nothing, waiting for our admin points to pile up high enough to buy stability so that we can avoid dying of lack of stability. Because we're at war, we can't get a peasants' war while we're at war, so it might be worthwhile to just let some provinces revolt. As soon as a province revolts and you crush the revolt, then they won't revolt again for a certain amount of time. But man, if I could just pay stability down a little bit. The revolt risk in all these places is so low. One stability would be enough to prevent all revolts. And stability cost is very high because of religious disharmony. Looks like we did it. We just barely survived taking all of Najd in one gulp. All these decisions to cost us admin when we're trying to save up admin. It's very silly. Alright, so we're gonna finish gobbling up Hijaz, Shamar, the Hassa, and then we're gonna start focusing on India and move to Baluchistan. Baby Baluchistan. Alright, who is Baluchistan allied to? Nobody. In fact, we might take Ormuz and Moghustan. 12 development Moghustan. That used to be called Hijaz, now it's called Moghustan. Oh, Hormuz is a vassal of the Timurids. So if we could get these two provinces away from the Timurids, then we could get into India, and possibly it wouldn't be considered overseas because we'd have a land bridge. That's probably why they added Hormuz, was just so that Najd could be better. I mean, I'm somewhat kidding about that, but that does make avoiding war with the Ottomans much more reasonable, because it used to be that the only way to make Indian territory not overseas was to take Iraq, and if you took Iraq, the Ottomans were guaranteed to attack you because they get a quest for Iraq. But now it looks like we can get in there and Suk, S-U-Q. We have a province called S-U-Q that is very revolty. It's probably the island. Oh, I never upped the... Oh man, the autonomy of the island. Well, nothing we can do there. Let's keep paying down revolts instead of teching up. Alright, our quest is to attack Hijaz. They're allied with the Mamluks, but the Mamluks are fighting the QQ. But the war with the QQ is almost over, so we would hate for the QQ to bail on that war and then come help Hijaz kill us. So what we really need to do is attack the Hassa. Call in the Mamluks. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Look at Medribari taking over the African world, yo. Alright, so we'll improve relations with Malwa and Kiatho Sindh and Gujarat. Situation has probably changed very much so in India too. Like, it used to be that you could count on Malwa and Bamanas to do quite well, while Vijayanagar would always collapse, but I don't know. Lots of things have changed. Alright, let's make sure that whatever we convert is not contributing to the Yemeni separatist movement. In fact, we're gonna... Awesome. We're gonna convert via this clicky tool instead of the list, because we want to make sure that it's someone far away from the Omani or Yemeni separatist movement. Our navy is under attack, but I'm okay with it because they don't have any heavy ships and we have mostly galleys, so we kick their butts. Looks like QQ is 85% sieged up, so that war is basically over. Awesome. Good work, Mamluks. Now, Shaymar has no allies. Ooh, the Ottomans are subsidizing Shaymar. That's cute. Let's bring our diplomats home. Annex Oman and attack Shaymar.
This is why you do the middle. No, it's fine.
And we'll up our military tech now, maybe twice. We'll put our king in charge. Ooh, the Mamluks are going to subsidize this. Awesome. A Yemeni separatist movement just got another boost. Oh, they got a big boost, up to 80%. Why are you so sad, Yemeni separatists? I guess being at war is making them mad? Or the fact that I'm converting one of the provinces? No? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Why, a second ago, they did not have that big of a revolt risk, but whatever. We can't afford a revolt on the island, so we're going to pay that down one more time. Once we can up stability twice, then we can stop throwing away all of our military power. But think about it this way, like, because we focused on military, we're dumping admin points into military. So all this military power we're spending on paying down revolts is similar to just using admin to buy stability. I almost never spend military power to pay down revolts, but it's a special case, man. We are desert people. We can't afford to fight revolts. We'd get a peasants' war, and then we'd have to spend tons of admin to pay off the peasants' war, and it's just better this way. Alright, so Shaymar has lots of claims against Hijaz, so we're going to vassalize Shaymar without taking any of their provinces. And then we're going to attack Mr. Hassaman. We can fabricate against both of the Hassa provinces now instead of just one. Because in the Common Sense expansion they allowed you to fabricate against capitals and to take capitals. We have some desert attrition problems in the capital of Shaymar. I can't wait to play a horde again. Because looting, I really like the changes that they made to looting. It used to be, I was very concerned at first. Oh, you know what? If I vassalize Shaymar, I'm going to be at war with the QQ and I won't have the help of anyone. So I can't vassalize Shaymar. Yeah. Good thing I noticed that, man. So the way looting works is there's this big chest of loot in each province that's based on their development. So even like if you have one province and you feed military points into it so that it's a super manpower province with no money in it, then that will make it a rich province as far as loot goes. It's kind of silly. And then you kind of eat into that jar of loot as you sit in the province. So every month you get a tick of money from whatever province you're sitting in. And that tick of money is 1/2 of the price of your army. The maintenance cost of your army. So if you have an infantry, he costs 0.2 to maintain, so he can loot 0.1. Horses cost 0.7 to maintain, and they loot 0.3. So it's more than half of... No, they cost 7 and loot 0.5 or something. Yeah, they loot more than half of their maintenance cost. And cannons loot less than half of them, way less than half of their maintenance cost. But you don't make a profit from looting unless you defund your army. An unfunded army set loose to loot will make more money than it costs to pay the men, which is pretty cool. Really, you know, when you're reading histories of actual wars back in this time period, there's a lot of, all right, we'll take a 4-day break to let the men go loot, and then we'll go push on to the next city. Like, I like the feel of it. Ooh, Yemeni separatists are about to get me. Alright. Oh, can't do this for some reason. Why is religious unity so much lower all of a sudden?
I'm gonna go home for a little bit. You wanna come with me?
What?
I'm gonna go home for a little
Well,
bit. You wanna come
nothing
with
you
me?
can do about it.
No, can I listen to this song?
You gotta go ask Melissa if it's okay if we could stay.
No, I want to listen to this song.
Let's see if the QQs will peace out Shamar, because I've got them sieged up. These are Sunni provinces, so they'll help my religious unity, actually. Give me provinces to increase my religious unity. Mwahaha. Awesome. We're going to up autonomy everywhere and core this stuff, although we'll probably pay down... Oops. I didn't mean to up stability. But whatever. It's a waste of 60 admin. So next on the docket is attacking these dudes and calling in the Mamluks. Mamluks aren't, they don't want to be called in. But Adal will come in and it'll just me against Hijaz and Adal. Let's see how big my army is compared to theirs.
You can watch it when you come
Their
back.
military tech is 4 and mine is 4, and Adal has only 7 troops and a military tech of 3. Oh my gosh, how are they still military tech 3? That's not good. Let's get our ships in order so we can blockade Hijaz when the war starts.
Shan,
Yemeni separatists, I'm telling you.
mind your business. Do whatever you're doing.
Man. We should send these guys as pirates against the richest node we can find instead. I think we can pirate the Indus node. Oh, we should pirate Alexandria if we can. No, we can't. Yeah, we can reach Alexandria. Sweet. Go pirate Alexandria, yo. Why is it not doing it? They'll accept the order, but they won't actually do it. Well.
Stop.
No, don't aggravate.
Alright. We can fabricate some more, a lot more claims against Hijaz before we start the war. So we'll boost the size of our army by 2 more, fabricate a bunch of claims, and try to get these separatists under control, all while waiting to fight. 2 years and then I can switch to admin focus. I can actually afford an advisor. How cool is that? Ooh. I can't let the Hassa ally QQ. That would be bad. We'll top off relations with the Mamluks and then improve relations with Timurids and Ottomans and then some people in India. Maybe Hormuz will probably be released from the Timurids when they collapse to rebels if they do. I don't know if rebel collapses are less common now, or what? Like, I know that for the last 700 patches, the Timurids would always fall apart to rebels, but I don't know if that's been changed. We actually converted a province. How cool is that? We might have to go up in piety for a little while. We're expanding so quickly that we just can't keep up. I don't think we've ever taken Arabia this quickly. It's just like, bam, all of Arabia is yours.
Whoa! Wait, look. Ready, Quenny? Watch it.
Yemeni separatists down to 5.4% revolt risk. Once they get up to 90%, we're going to have to pay them down again, but I think this should be one of the last couple of times.
Triplets. Would you? No, there's 5.
Omani separatists are working their magic too. I remember in one of our many playthroughs, hilariously, no, we will not be teching up. We need to pay down rebels more than we need to tech up. Yeah, in one of our playthroughs, we got Yemeni separatists, or back then they were Yemeni nationalists or whatever, and they sieged up like 3 provinces down here. Or they sieged up a ton of provinces, but then I pushed them back and killed all the dudes and started to counter siege, but I wasn't fast enough, and so they enforced their demands. But by the time they enforced their demands, they only had like 5 provinces sieged, and it split off my entire nation and just called it Yemen, and was like, this is now Yemen. Like, no! What are you doing? That's crazy. Hijaz is Shia? Are you Shia? I can't really tell. Tribal. Sunni. Ooh, good. So that'll increase our religious unity, beating up our brethren. Also lower our piety. Good times. We're going to need a lot of admin to claim all the territory, but that's okay. We only have 3% overextension. Ah, the subsidies from the Mamluks. I'd forgotten about those. It's a shame they've been cancelled, but what can you do? Alright, we gotta pay off. Oh, najd peasants I'm not too worried about. It looks like... well, they only cost 62 to pay down. But accepting them is fine. No, we don't care about najd peasants. Alright, we'll make friends with Von Timmy, and then Sind, and we'll kill Baluchistan. Oh, we gotta pay down the Omanis. 10% revolt risk in Ash Sharik because it's being converted, probably. We forgot to make sure not to send missionaries to Oman or Yemen until they were taken care of. Alright. We've got Muslim dual infantry and some charge cavalry. We gotta fabricate more claims against Hijaz. Hijaz is still allied to the Mamluks and the Hassa. Just hope that the Hassa don't ally anyone else. Tabaristan is not that big of a deal, but don't ally the QQ, that would be bad.
What? This? No, no.
Wow, so expensive.
Simon! What? Go on to, animal data. Okay.
There we go. Mecca awaits. I don't even need to read that to know that I like Mecca. It's a good place. And it awaits. Gain piety. Woo! Alright. So only... Nice. We've taken care of the Yemenis, and the Omanis are going to be gone when that missionary is done. He's at 82%. We'll probably send him next to Zufar, or maybe we'll just stand our dudes on Zufar. Where's Zufar? Zufar. Let's move our troops to Zufar. We stand on Zufar after our missionary comes home, and then just fund our army for a bit. Unfunded armies don't reduce revolt risk, but funded armies do. Looks like we never increased autonomy here. That's why Zufar is having so much trouble. Alright, so we'll go to Zufar with a missionary, but we'll fund our army here too. So Zufar has still got 5% revolt risk.
What's your name?
Actually, if we send home our missionary, then the separatist movement will die down, and then we can send the missionary in again. Yeah, we'll send our missionary over there for now. So Omani separatists are going away because we're standing in Zufar.
Hold on.
Next is the Yemeni separatists. Where do we have to stand for them? Looks like the island. We gotta stand on the island to get rid of those guys. I don't think we can stand on an island. It's an island. I don't want to stand over there. Again, maybe I do. Nope, I don't have any cogs. Or I do have cogs, but they unchecked allowing me to transport with them.
How do you spell it? Hold on.
Couple more claims, some friendship with the Ottomans. Ooh, the Ottomans like me. Yemeni separatists. They should start decreasing. Yep, there we go. Okay, so no more Yemeni separatists. No more Omani separatists. No more separatists. We have successfully killed the revolutionaries with kindness. We've killed them by standing 14,000 troops on their graves. Alright, time to fight Hijaz and Hassa. Good. Now, of course, we have the money, theoretically, to build buildings, but no way would we ever want to build buildings. We could vassalize the Hassa peacefully. Don't really want to. We could. Mostly I look at them as a way to pick a fight with Hijaz. Let's see how big Hijaz's army is. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Hijaz, 8,000. The force limits are 7, so I'm no problem against Hijaz, man. Hijaz shall be easy.
Oh, I'm just Simon 9. I'm just Simon 9.
See if we can find their army before the war starts.
You didn't have to make yours so
We'll put
long.
one dude. Where's your little army, Hijaz? The Zufar people aren't going to be happy about this, but I don't think the missionary takes long enough for it to matter.
Okay, mine's
Alright, we're going to see if we can catch these trade ships.
okay. My name.
Start fabrication.
I don't have anything in my house.
Bring home the Ottomans.
Really? I thought you would have a lot of things in your house, but you don't. In my other house, I do. Where's your other house?
Come on, Hijaz Navy. There we go. Hijaz Navy is now dead.
Where's your other house?
Hey, the Mamluks will come in against Hijaz, even though they're allied to Hijaz. That's hilarious.
My den.
All that waiting, and I actually like get the Mamluks in. That's cool.
There's so much things there. What?
There goes the Navy. Remember, I have no forts, so mostly in wars, all I do is run around, making sure they don't siege my stuff. Because anything they siege, they get. They don't need to siege forts to get my stuff.
Hold on. I think that's not a web to move. See? That's a hammock.
Awesome.
What's a hammock anyway? You don't know what
What's a
hammock
hammock?
is? What
See if we... Oh, yep, we can bait their ships out. Nice. So, once upon a time, the AI had to be good at dancing in order to
How'd you get that hammock?
move their armies, and invariably people were better at dancing than the AI, so it was stupid. Like, anything that the AI can't be good at but that people can easily do shouldn't be in the game because it just makes the game easier. So what they did was they made it so that with movement locking, nobody can dance to bait people into provinces.
Then you get stuff.
But the problem is they went too far. They said, well, now that movement locking exists, there's no need for the AI to dance at all. So now the AI will just commit to movements like 100% right away, which means that dancing is even more effective now than it used to be. So you saw I took some of my navy and started to move it away. They started to come out of their fort, and because it's quicker to leave port than it is to move to the next province, now they're movement locked, but I'm not, so I canceled my movement and killed their whole navy. That's a little bit silly how that works. I'm gonna send my navy over here though, because we can't have them sieging my island. It's not nice. And there's 2.6 loot in here, which means that it'd take 10 troops 2 days to get it. So we'll put all of our troops in Hufflepuff because we don't take any attrition since we have the siege of it. And we're just gonna quickly, 2 days of 10 troops, it'll be mine. One more day and then I'm gonna go retake my island. Whoop. My island. It's my island. Braveheart. I was trying to show this game to Simon and he was interested, but he's not old enough to like quickly and effortlessly read. Reading is a, you know, it's a chore. You have to fa laj la ra red. What does that say, Daddy? That kind of thing. So he's obviously not going to be playing any EU4, but I wanted to show him what it is and what it's about so he'd have a general idea when he looks at the screen of what's going on. And to explain what the game is about, I showed him Braveheart, and he was like, "That is the coolest movie."
Do chapter 1, then you get presents. 3 prisons.
Alright, so the Mamluks will do the hard work of actually winning the war. I'm gonna loot. I'm gonna unfund my army and loot all the provinces to just make as much money as I can while the Mamluks are winning for me. Thanks, Mamluks. You're great. I had planned to go straight to India because, like I said, any provinces we take in Africa are just revolt risk with no benefit. But I'm wondering, because the Mamluks are so helpful, it might be nice to get the Mamluks to help me take over all of Africa instead of going to India where the Mamluks wouldn't be helping me at all. Because I need enough troops to be able to win in India. It's not like India is just ours for the taking because we go there. Like the Indians have a lot of troops and a lot of manpower, and they're higher. They're the same or higher tech than me in military. They have tech penalties, but not enough to outweigh the fact that I also have tech penalties. All right, we've looted that province. Go loot this one, and looted that province. Missionary. He's gonna go counter siege Qatif, but he doesn't have enough troops, so he's just gonna go do nothing. Lots of money from looting stuff. Good times. So one infantry loots 0.1 per month, and the rate that the loot box refills, I think, is higher than that. So if you just leave one dude in each province, they'll keep looting successfully all game. So monthly budget, spoils of war 1.13. The cost of my army is 1.67. So I'm making almost as much as my army costs back in loot.
You looked at my screen. No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
Let's check on the cavalry. See what this is like. Because if unfunded looting cavalry... Here we go. So this guy costs 0.25 and he loots 0.02. That's because this province is empty and it's only 3 development, so it's only going to refill at 0.02 or whatever. My reputation has recovered from when I annexed Oman. That's good. Alright, so now we gotta start gearing up for the Baluchistani and the Midribari wars. Ooh, Adal took over. My cute little ally. They beat up Warsangal and whoever this guy used to be. This was Marahen or Majirteen? I don't know. Random African person. Or random African province, I should say. Alright. So we're going to have some separatist issues again, but I don't think we're in any rush. Alright. I think if we take a separate piece with Hejaz, then it costs us Diplo for all the provinces we take. But if we piece out Hassa, we can take all of the stuff we claimed in Hejaz. So, like, it used to be that if you full annexed the Hassa, you wouldn't be able to take anything from Hejaz. So you had to get a separate piece first. But now you can just negotiate one single piece, and in that single piece you can take stuff from both nations. So that's cool. I'm going to do that in a sec. Also, I've heard, though I haven't looked into the details or tested it, that naval battles don't give you Navy tradition anymore. And the only way to get Navy tradition is to have lots of heavy ships protecting against pirates or something stupid. Naval tradition has always bothered me. Like, I've gotten 100 naval tradition before, but all I did to get it was just kill all of the navies all over the world. It's not like something... Like, army tradition is a reflection of how often... It used to be a reflection of how often you fought with your own troops, like how experienced your troops are at fighting. But now it's a reflection of how often you siege provinces. So, like, I don't get why your army, you have a tradition of arminess because you siege so many provinces. I don't know. The changes to tradition, I think, were necessary because maxing out both traditions was, like, the tactic that I always used to use because it was super powerful. So, obviously, anything that I'm doing all the time, they should nerf. But I feel like it made more logical sense the way that it used to be. Alright, let's ditch this one.
I think we got a hammock because it's made out of web and spiders.
Let's ditch the most expensive one. And try... There we go. Oh, but this... I can't have that. So really, wouldn't I rather have 8 than 3 and 3? And then I'll just take force religion, but you're dead. I can't force your religion when you're dead. That makes no sense. I'll just take some money. Ooh.
There's a snake!
Tiny bit of money.
I really want this statue. That question is obvious.
Alright. So now we own most of Arabia, although the Mamluks are still allied to the men in tights, so we gotta be a little bit careful of a counterattack from Hejaz in the future.
I'm already on chapter 5.
But it's time to either fight Baluchistan or Medjugorje, and we'll decide next episode. Thanks for joining us. Najd for the win. Jihad!